to oust him. Joining us is Congressman Adam Schiff. He's a Democrat from California. He's also running to represent California in the U.S. Senate, but his day job's in Washington, D.C. Congressman, a lot to talk with you about. I have to start with the divisions on display within the Republican Party. Some of your fellow Democrats have suggested that they might vote to keep Speaker Johnson as Speaker Johnson. Would you?
Well, it depends on what we have come up on the floor. But if it is, as the Speaker is representing, that we're going to take up largely the Senate bill, but in pieces, I certainly wouldn't want to see him punished for doing the right thing. But this is a discussion we'll have as a caucus. I wouldn't be surprised if it is, as it is represented to be, that there is some agreement or some understanding that either a handful of Democrats vote to defeat the motion or we simply don't vote. And it reduces the threshold and therefore a very small number of Republicans who just seem devoted to tearing down the institution cannot succeed. But ultimately, we'll have that conversation with Hakeem Jeffries, and we'll make that decision together.
How does that work, not voting? Do you have to leave the floor of the House, or you just don't vote?
You don't vote. I think if you vote present, it has a different impact. But, we'll figure that out, consulting with the parliamentarian if necessary. But, we want this place to be governed, and we want it to be governable. We've been demanding for months that we bring up Ukraine funding. Of course, the Speaker could have done that months ago. He could have done it separately like we're doing today, or he could have brought up the Senate bill. It would have passed overwhelmingly in the House. But nevertheless, we are where we are. And hopefully this week we'll finally get that aid passed that Ukraine so desperately needs, that we need to send to Israel, the humanitarian assistance as well as aid to Taiwan and our other allies.
Let's turn to Trump's criminal trial, because you're one of the most prominent critics of the former president. You were the lead prosecutor in Trump's first impeachment trial, for example. What's your reaction to seeing Trump in this Manhattan courtroom as jury selection is underway in his hush money cover-up case? And do you wish it was a different trial going forward, like the January 6th trial in Georgia or the January 6th trial that the special counsel Jack Smith is bringing?
Well, in terms of seeing him finally sit in the defendant's chair where I think he belongs, it's been a long time in coming, and it is, I think, from the perspective of the justice system, an affirmation that even a former president is not above the law, and ultimately there is accountability. But after seeing him successfully delay one proceeding after another, literally for years, but then these criminal trials for months and months and months, finally seeing him face justice in the courtroom is a long-awaited reckoning for the former president. In terms of whether I would have liked to have seen a different case go forward, first, to be candid, yes. I think the most serious and substantial of all the cases is the January 6th federal prosecution. And there the Justice Department took a long time to get that case investigated to begin with. But nevertheless, the Supreme Court has quite willfully allowed Trump to delay that proceeding by, continuing to sit on its hands when it comes to one of the bogus appeals involving this purported claim of immunity. So there, the largest part of the responsibility goes to the court that seems to be doing his will by delaying.
Congressman Adam Schiff, Democrat of California, Senate candidate as well. Thanks so much. We're going to get a